we're going to talk about different kinds of systems. One of them, this finance system or the billing system. Billing system is really usually they are very intricate systems, and each CRM definitely has to talk to billing because whenever it sells something, it triggers billing. Especially in companies like telecom companies, there is a monthly billing, there is a yearly billing. In those cases, CRM will definitely talk to billing system. In fact, even for a single sale, bill has to go out. Like for example, if you buy something from Dell, then you do get a thing in your hand. So that billing system, okay, billing system has to have a record that something was sold, because even in case of a laptop, although no bill comes to you, but then you get the service, and that service, that record that you bought a product called as service, also has to be created in billing system, because down the line billing system will bill your extra calls or bill your paid calls properly. Did you understand? Like let's say you have 1 year of like calls, 1 year of support for free, so 1 year of calls will not get billed, but then after that it has to start billing you. So making sense? So it similarly, so it is billing system is of paramount importance. Each and every CRM system talks to billing for sure. I mean, I'm very sure about it. Each and every CRM system has to talk to order fulfillment system also. Okay, order fulfillment system also. They are very important systems, because that's where, so order fulfillment system, right? How will if customer presses the order, submits the order, where will the order will not get fulfilled till it goes to the order fulfillment system. Inventory system, inventory has to be maintained. We bought 5, we sold 1, 4 are left. How will it is also important for checking availabilities, functionality in old CRM system. In the CRM system, I'm just saying old, right? I should remove it. Basically, I'm really talking about any CRM at this point, right? So your question is, we understand very clearly that order fulfillment and inventory system needs to talk to each other, right? And my answer to this, and your question was, can the data flow through SQL, or can the data go directly? Actually, we are getting into a very big domain called as business systems analysis, which is what we are, and you will be able to analyze. So this is an ongoing analysis, that where all can you find a particular data, and whether it is cost effective and performance effective to get the data from a particular system directly, or through the CRM, or through the data warehouse. There are usually multiple options available. For example, particular data could be in order fulfillment, but then if you get it from CRM, it is not going to be performance effective, because CRM system is the one which users use a lot to sell. They will not be able to sell properly if CRM system is not working properly, if it is slow. You like it when it is slow? No, right? Just think, if you have to day in and day out work on 7.5. Right now it is only for just exercises. If it is for selling, like you use car, right? Let's say every time you go to the car and someday it is broken, someday it is ready, someday it is not ready. That's what SQL is. 7.5 is. It's sometimes not ready. You as a BA should never ever recommend that SQL should be connected to multiple systems. If somebody can get data from something else, they should go there. Right? SQL should be protected from all these unnecessary interfaces. Okay? Typically, any transactional system where users enter data, where customers enter data, you can't imagine these guys make systems. Like, how much money do they spend to make sure customer can use it fast? Have you ever noticed Google page is the fastest page in the world? Right? It is not only, there is the science that has gone behind it is not only related to keeping this. I told you that this page is kept light, right? This page is kept light, right? I told you before, right? This page is not only light, but also it is, from a system perspective, they must have not been having any interfaces with this, because if some bad job is running, it will make the system slow. They don't want all this. If you make a query, if the Google sends you results instead of 1 second, if he sends it after 1.5 seconds, do you know what it means? Google will shut down tomorrow. They don't want to decrease the performance of the customer facing systems. Transactional systems means like employee facing or customer facing, systems. They don't want to They don't want to. So the answer to your question is, I like your question a lot. Just from a factual standpoint, you should know that transaction system should not be used for query. Okay, it's a query. Yeah, we call in business system language we reuse the same word query. We are basically querying SQL to get the data, right? Although in a batch manner every day in the night for 1 hour, right? So we should never ever use, but right. So okay, so coming back, we are going through various systems and trying to understand what those systems mean. Inventory system, data warehouse. This probably is the hugest system in the company. They usually have terabytes of data, and people who know data warehousing never got a job. Data warehouses have nowhere to go but stay. They will always be here. Data warehousing projects, data warehousing work is a very important work, and it is data warehousing is like a huge science because of the fact that they get data from like millions of sources. All these systems send data to data warehouse. Right. So when all these systems get data from data warehouse, that means data warehouse have to support hundreds of interfaces. It has to support billions of trillions of data. Guess how many transactions would Walmart have every day? Like runs into hundreds of millions. All these transactions go into data warehouse and get analyzed. It's a huge science. I don't want to get into system analysis because you will never be hit. But then these guys make multi-tier data warehouse. Like data will first come in here, then will get sucked into the bigger system. So that, like, let's say this interface, we build this interface between Siebel and this thing. So let's say this data warehouse is getting connected to like 20,000 other systems. So Siebel will have to wait till it puts data into data warehouse. Making sense, right? Let's say Siebel wants to run every day till 11 because of the fact that Siebel is, we understand Siebel also has to make sure that it does its work. Siebel is free only from at 11, right? It is going to happen with every system. Actually, wherever data warehouse is connected, it's going to happen. They will be free at certain point of time because of the data warehouse being very busy system, right? So what this guy do it, they create entire warehouse. Siebel picks it data, puts it in this entire warehouse, and then this big warehouse gets data from this entire data warehouse whenever it wants, before the end of the day, of course, before the next time interim data warehouse is reset. Interim data warehouse will get the data again from Siebel, right? Man, do you see? Then marketing system. Marketing system means simply lead generation systems. Okay. Typically Siebel can also be used for marketing. Siebel is a great lead generation system. It can be used for outbound calling and all that stuff. But if it is outside, then Siebel will have to accept it from somewhere. CTI IVR, okay, right? All these CTI IVR would be are basically very important systems which Siebel call center has to understand how to interact with CTI IVR. Otherwise, many functionalities cannot be provided. Okay. Product maintenance systems. This is what I was really talking about. Product maintenance is really like Siebel sells certain products. Those products, let's say they are 20, like Amazon.com. How many products does it sell? Millions, hundreds of thousands. They have to be maintained somewhere. Even setting up those products becomes a big task which users have to do. Developers cannot maintain all these products. Their prices, products and their prices maintenance. There are various compositions maintenance. Volume discount किस पे देना है? What all volume discounts are possible? What all coupons are there? What all deals are there? You see, look at this Amazon.com, right? They have so all these things have to be set up somewhere. Siebel is a great system. Actually, you can do a lot of products in Siebel, but not million. Okay, I'm 100% sure when I say the fact that Amazon cannot use Siebel for customer facing application. Siebel can never become this good of a portal. Okay, Siebel cannot even be used for maintenance of these products. Siebel cannot be used because these are like thousands, hundreds of thousands of products out there. So this portal is like extremely involved. Amazon's unique selling point is their usability. So obviously Siebel cannot be used. It has to be some other technology, like some web technology, like .NET, .NET, whatever, right? In which you can make very customer friendly pages. But point is, this page could be talking to Siebel database, right? Right? That's a possibility, right? Even that is what I'm ruling out, saying that even this data cannot even be maintained in Siebel. because this is huge amount of master data, probably master data, right? This is huge amount of master data. Yeah, the customer profiles that you create could be going to C1. So this page could be connected to two different systems. Just the front end of this page actually can be connected like this. This is a very interesting possibility in the web technologies. These web technologies are very flexible. You can just create a page. We have these all these are basically three tiers, right?
Yeah.
So just the front tier, there's the upper tier of a particular, okay, like this, just the front end, okay, could be connected, could be, not always is connected, could be connected to multiple systems. One frame could be pulling data from some, like these have frames, right? They could be pulling data from one system and the other data from other system. Let me show you one system like that. If you go to bscindia.com, this is the Reliance this thing finder, okay, you'll just see how it works. Okay. Yeah. Actually this whole thing, okay, just give me 1 second. Look at this web technology. This thing is still getting executed. You know why? Because it is still getting the data from some other system. So this page is connected to maybe 4 or 5 systems, okay. And look at this thing is could be coming from another system. These news could be coming from another system, and all these could be coming from another system. This chart could be coming from another system. Of 100% and 120% sure that these Google ads are coming from Google system, okay. This is directly connected to Google actually. So these links and everything, everything basically, if you enter something here, it will go to Google search, it will go to some search thing. So this is the interesting thing about these web pages technologies. So all right, so coming back, so this is like, these CRM systems have to be connected to a customer facing portal. Yeah, I forgot that part. There could be a need to. So these are also this is also a possible connection, right, between this CRM system and the front end. We talk about marketing system, product maintenance system. So sometimes product maintenance systems are huge systems. And when you say product, it means products and their prices. You simply maintain products somewhere and prices somewhere will not work. Wherever you maintain products, you have to maintain price right there. And you know what? Price maintenance is a huge work. Because in America, there is a separate price on a separate day for everything. Even the same thing could be sold in a different manner, at a different price. It definitely has a different price on Thanksgiving Day and on Christmas Day. So you have this price list for every product. You have a price list, okay. Siebel pricing, Siebel product maintenance modules are there, which are huge science in itself, and they also cannot be used for Amazon.com. Coming back, salary system needs to know, actually salary system, there would be an employee system which salary system would be connected to, but compensation portion, especially related to what he sold, that is the, what you call it, commissions have to come from CRM system, right? And there will be only one CRM system in the company, there could be hundreds of CRM systems, okay. So it's like a huge science. You'll not have one CRM system, there will be at least 30-40 CRM systems itself. Reasons behind having the multiple systems. One VP, like I was talking about example, let's say they roll out a new product and they realize that this new product is gonna be sold by a different process altogether. We don't want to be contacting in the same way. We'll contact the same people, but we'll not be contacting in the same way. We don't want to be qualifying the opportunities or leads in the same way, right? Or out of the box, there is some company which is selling a beautiful, ready to go system to sell just that. Okay, let's say it's a drug manufacturing company, but then they all of a sudden start thinking in terms of selling beds, patient beds or patient stretchers. Then they might think, oh, okay, let's not use, because the cycle is different. In case of medical education, you go and give him a sample, right? But you cannot give a sample of bed. Look at this. These are the kind of sheets you're gonna have. I find it funny, quite funny. But so they cannot do this thing. So the sales system they might need would be different. But the process would be different. Sales system would be different too. They might say, let's do a pilot. Let's hire 50 people, sales people. Let them use a different sales system, use different product maintenance system, and let's start selling immediately.
That would be a different strategy.
Yes, they do that all the time. Great recipe for a reason, for great recipe for having down the line, an IT infrastructure comprising of thousands of systems. Reason is why, like, let's say, like, they are like some, like, they want to roll out all these parts. Let's say GE wants to start selling their toothbrushes in India also, right? So they have to talk to wholesalers. Obviously, for selling toothbrushes, don't use Siebel. Do you realize that? Retailing, Siebel is not good for retailing. Siebel is for selling to corporates and mid tiers, right? Kind of things. It's not good for selling to the customers directly, or wherever relationship is very important. For example, in case of professionals, but in case of Walmart, Siebel is not good. Okay, we know this business process and Siebel thing. We'll talk about it too much in detail. But so they might think, okay, let's start using Siebel to sell to wholesalers and everybody. Okay, at that point, they may not use the same CRM system. They might use one. Okay, let's say they are rolling it out to in China. They might think, let's not use Siebel. Let's not use the current CRM system because it does not support Chinese. To sell in China, we need Chinese people, Chinese salesmen. We need a system which speaks Chinese, which understands Chinese. Speaks means the forms and applets, lists, column names, everything is in Chinese. We may just go for something in Chinese. Down the line, will have at least 35 systems, one in Spanish, one in Arabic, one in, because and they will need to be connected, or they will be broken. 15 companies working together selling one product. 15 companies, right? This is what is going on in many of the companies in USA right now. Like, talk about any company which is global nature, IBM, which needs local salesmen. Any consumer goods company needs local salesmen, right? Procter and Gamble, any media company, because Chinese songs are sold by Chinese salesmen, by Chinese wholesalers, by Chinese, right? It is all the way China, right? Media companies have to be localized. When they cannot localize, they simply roll out a new application. That's the quickest way to get to the business, right? So we are talking about these different systems. Okay, and we're talking about certain aspects of replacing them, maintaining them, and their behavior, their existence with reference to change management. Then we come to something called as transaction. Let's try to understand. There are different types of systems also. One is data warehousing systems. They are the know-all systems. They don't have a customer face. Sorry, they don't have a user face. They don't have a front end usually, right? They will be tied to a reporting tool. That reporting tool will have, or business intelligence tool will have a user face, like a front end. Sorry, I'm not talking about customer face. Of course, your customers don't want to know, how much are you selling. So I'm sorry, I said customer face. That's wrong. User face, or basically front end. They don't even have a front end. They're just database. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Typically, and like, there are some companies like Informatica which basically sells a data warehousing tool, and there are so many companies which do that. Okay. Then we have I wanted to basically make sure you understand master data systems and transactional systems. Siebel is a transactional system. What is a transactional system from the context? So transactional data. So basically what happens is, all these systems, like, the way I really see is they are the ones where transactions occur with the customers, right? Customers are bombarding data. You just get the data and put it in the system, right? Then it gets like, master data system is like, there should be a master, like, okay, you're selling not just one product, you're selling multiple products, right? So you could just roll out a transaction system quite quickly, right? Where you'll be selling the product and getting the customer data. But then this customer data is unique or not can be checked in the master system. So typically in a company, the way I would like to see this is, there'll be a small system which is kind of front ending. Okay, and they are all connected to some master. Okay, guess what? Sometimes these masters don't exist. Yeah, just everybody sells as a separate company. They get the company information. They will get the account information. They'll enter it in their local transactional system. It will never get synced up with other transactional systems. This is also a thing. So, but these transactional system really means, like, Siebel is a typical transactional system because you enter opportunities in it, which you get from the customers. Master systems in this context means So everybody will enter their opportunities. Let's say if I come, and ask you, what is the total potential revenue for this product, laptop product, you'll go to this system and you will find it out. But if I say, what is the total expected revenue for next month for the entire company, you could be having an opportunity master somewhere here, where all the data is coming, right? In this particular case, this opportunity master could easily be the data warehouse itself. Okay, so my point is, I'm giving you the concepts. In every company, there could be 2-3 systems could be clubbed into one, or the transactional system could be the master system itself. All that is possible. Okay, small companies will always use on 1 or 2 systems. So, but still, conceptually, this is there, and you keep listening to these various ideas and apply your mind and think where the things fit. So this is transactional system. They're basically interfaced with the customers. A similar concept is front-end business systems, back-end business systems. Okay, this is a different context. Roughly, CBIL or the customer-facing applications. When the customer-facing means customer-facing or the employees. Employee-facing, employees which interact with customers. They are called as front-end business processes. For example, sales is a typical front-end business process, business work, whereas salary is not. So in this context, salary is not the master system of all the opportunities, but it is the system which is related to the back-end business process, which customers don't need to deal with. CTI is a typical customer, is a typical what you call it, front-end business process application, business application. Okay, and SAP is only for back-end business processes. When now SAP is a product, SAP CRM, which is for front-end business processes. So this is another concept. Then we have data warehouse. We discussed data mart. Quite frankly, I do not know what data mart is. Okay, but it basically means a smaller data warehouse. Whenever I hear this thing, I envision a smaller data warehouse, and I always get by easily without even getting into nitty-gritty. Master system and slave system. This is very important. Remember, we talked about transactional data system and master data system. Okay. What happens is, one system could be driving another for a certain period of time. So in any interface, like we sometimes use this verbiage, that this system is driving this. So in that case, master system becomes, just whenever it comes, we'll see. But basically, master systems are the ones which basically hold a lot of data, and other systems buy from it. So they're typically transactional systems are getting the data from master systems as well. When they send it there, they receive the data as well, right? So that's why we'll say master and slave relationship is there. Okay. So, but this is less used phrase. Okay. Then similarly, there's very important thing is mission critical product systems. I want to touch this thing in detail. So I covered front-end business. Mission critical product systems is what I want to discuss now. Mission critical product systems. This is my own names. Okay, these are my own names. I don't want to stand by these names, but conceptually you need to understand what these are. Okay, mission critical product system is definitely my own name, and I was groping for a word for quite some time. This is product system is what I heard some people talking, and I thought, okay, this is what I should be calling these systems as. Conceptually, what happens is, like for example, T-Mobile. T-Mobile has a system like, when you guys make call to your friend's cell phone, you're not really calling his cell phone directly. You're calling to you're basically interacting with the T-Mobile system. Somewhere here, I'm gonna pick this big box, it's just taking space. So they you and your friend are talking to each other. So basically you are basically calling this system, and that system calls your friend. Okay, it maintains the data, and if you are calling, let's say you're AT&T subscriber and you're calling, let's say, Sprint subscriber, then this system will talk to Sprint's this system, which is outside all these systems, like these outside all these systems, because that's a different company altogether. My point is, all the usage data is here. Who all is having an active cell phone is here. Where your cell phone is here. Everything is here. This system cannot afford companies cannot afford to have these systems down. These systems have to be operational at all times. That's what when you say the BlackBerry was down for like few hours,
Yeah.
the world noticed. These systems have to be up at all times. Okay. In some of these, well, in case of BlackBerry or in case of AT&T, these are like telecom switches, and like these are like really very expensive stuff. Similarly, sometimes some companies use like this called as mission critical product systems that are basically made in software languages. For example, Yahoo website. Yahoo website is basically their product. That's what they sell. It has to be up at all times, and it's not a hardware switch. It's basically a software, right? It has a lot of stuff in it. Similarly, like I used to work for a company, they used to have what you call it, a switch, but that switch was a software switch. What it used to do is, there are doctors, then there are insurance companies. Okay, how many insurance companies are there in America? Just make a
Hundreds.
Thousands.
okay, that's good. I knew only 5. If had you asked me, I would have said 6. Had you said no, there are a lot more, I should have said maybe okay, then 15. BCPS, we don't only this, but there are actually thousands of companies. There are actually thousands of companies, 20,000 26 to hundreds of companies for military man, senior citizens insurance, Medicaid. Every state program has an insurance program, which is basically free insurance to some of their like citizens. So then we have hundreds of actually private insurance carriers, hundreds of kinds of. So I'm just talking about health insurance carriers. There are huge number of data. If one doctor wants to accept a patient, he has to be able to submit his claim to that particular insurance, right? There are simple ways. He calls and tells them this patient came. His name is John and he has your insurance. But the other way is he can submit it to a software. This is obviously more time effective, right? He fills out a form, submits it. Now to do that, he has to have 1,000 softwares so that he can submit to each and every insurance carrier. So this person came out with this great idea. Why don't I sell a software to doctors to just mention the insurance company name and fill out the information in one form for every kind. Just mention the insurance carrier name. He will make a switch. The information will be received by a switch, and that switch will transform it into that insurance carrier's format and send it there. Simple idea, right? So they used to make this switch. Okay, that switch basically. So we used to have these payers, people who pay, that is insurance companies, and doctors who get paid, and patients for whom they get paid, right? So when some companies, so they used to install this software, so there was a huge cycle. Anyway, for every transaction they used to charge money. They used to have a unlimited thing also. For $200 a month you can use it unlimited. All these various combinations were there. So these guys, we used to get calls. How many transactions did I do today? Typical call, right? Typical call. How many transactions? Sir, I did 20 transactions yesterday, and I was charged for 25 transactions. Typical call. So the customer service people were using the CRM system, okay, and we needed an interface with this system. There is no doubt in my mind to say that this interface was very, very important, because we used to get these calls a lot. The CRM system, now how many transactions occur. A patient is coming to a doctor every minute, so he's shooting transactions after transactions, and next day he calls. Yesterday only 100 patients came, and how many transactions occurred? And typical answer was, please wait for 1 day. Right, because of the fact that our batch interface was having this delay of 1 day, right? So I'm just tying some of the things to the calls. Okay, then similar things were like they would say, okay, number of transactions less. So then they will count. They were able to pull all this data from this this thing and be able to use it. Now, interesting thing is, just to let you know, remember I told you the intermediate system, a great candidate for making an intermediate system right in between. If you don't make this intermediate system, then this switch will be slow, right? So whenever it becomes free, it sends the data to this guy, and Siebel does not want to. So Siebel has to interact with this guy. So okay, so we used to actually have that kind of arrangement. All the data used to come through our system actually. Okay, so anyway, for us, it was coming from switch. That's what we used to say. So the point is, um, many of these customer calls that you guys make, that you guys receive, and many of the reasons that you receive from them can be easily traced to how their business systems are organized, what kind of interfaces are running between them, the delays that they talk about. Everything can be traced back to this simple business system stuff. Okay, for example, when you there is a company called as Cricket, it's in Tennessee area. If you buy a cell phone from them, I said, oh, can I want to buy a cell phone? It's unlimited calling anywhere in America for just 35 bucks. It's a very good plan. And if you wanna, there was like local calling, unlimited for 35, or unlimited to anywhere in the United States for like 40, something like that. So I said, okay, I just want local calling. So he just said, I said, I want to change my plan. He said, it should be, oh, I can change it right away. But no, he said, now call after 3 days to customer service. Reason is simple. Their sales system and their service system is not even connected. So their CRM system itself is broken into two pieces and they are not connected. Obviously, me getting set on the switch, and by the way, just as the order is placed, some people are able to activate right away. That means they are able to send the data from CRM system of the new customer to the switch very, very fast. That's what is happening. And sometimes people say that it will take you up to 1 hour to activate. That's what is happening. Other concept is worth mentioning here. As part of the CRM system, there is a service request module. Okay, in this service requests, if you see, when you call customer service, they say, okay, I have a billing problem. They adjust your bill. That means this service request has to be talking to this billing system. They sometimes, even if you say, hey, you know what, can you tell me, like, can you activate my switch? Can you activate my line right away? Okay, can you activate my line right away? It's not service request, basically buying a new. So it's a sales system. So as part of sales, they say, okay, can you activate my line right away? What they can simply do is they click a little button here, the message goes all the way to this one. Okay, this is a very important functionality which is required as part of service request. Sometimes when you call Comcast for resetting your service, that's when a service request occurs. And when they are resetting your service, they are basically resetting the Comcast switch. All of us are connected to a switch of Comcast, right? Some central application which is receiving all these things. Comcast server, basically. So they are basically resetting your switch through to that server, right? So this functionality, keep in mind, wherever you will go, you will see, if you're working service requests, you'll have many of these buttons on your service request applet, and they will be asking for functionality to do this, do that, and that means an interface. Okay, and there will be usually an intermediate stuff also. You'll have to analyze how that intermediate system works and how a switch will basically get the information eventually. All these things you'll have to analyze. So business systems analysts are like, it becomes a little bit of big ball game, to really understand how things will work and how things will not work. Okay. We discussed all these systems. If there is anything left, we'll just take it as it goes. Okay.